Happy Sunday, Risen Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody. Today, we celebrate Jesus risen from the dead. So, Friday he died, Saturday he was in the grave, today he rose from the dead. So, what happened was the women that was Jesus around, Mary Magdalene, his mother, and some other women, went to the tomb to to anoint his body because they couldn't do all the preparations on Friday because it was almost the Sabbath and it was almost sundown. So they go back there and they're expecting to see guards there in the tomb, and they're going to have some of the guards help them open up the tomb so they can go and do what they have to do. Well, when they arrive, the tomb was open and the guards were gone. So what happens is they run into the tomb, and all they see is his burial cloth down there. So they're looking around, and all of a sudden, this angel in white clothing stands there, and he says, "Why are you looking for the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen, like he said like he told you he was going to." So they were shocked. They all ran back. Mary Magdalene stayed behind, crying, thinking that somebody stole his body. Well, all of a sudden, Jesus appears, and she sees him, but she doesn't recognize him. So she thinks he's the gardener, and she says, what have you done with the master's body? Please let us know so we can go and take it so we can bury it properly. Again, we have to bury it properly. It's our customs. And what happens is he says Mary, and when he said her name, she recognized his voice and says, "Rabbi, Master." As he tries to hold on to him like continuously, he says, "No, don't." So then they all run to the disciples. Now, the one thing is, during that time period, you never used women as witnesses. They didn't think women were right enough for witnesses. We don't agree with this nowadays, of course, but that was custom back then. So the fact that the disciples are willing to say women are the first to see Jesus alive and also to see the empty tomb was pretty much putting luck out there, because most people wouldn't believe them because the first people to see everything were women. So the fact is that they stuck by this, and all the Gospels pronounce that women were the first to see Jesus either alive or the empty tomb, was saying something. Well, the women, of course, go back to the disciples and they tell them. Well, Peter and John are just dumbfounded. So what they do is they race each other to the tomb. Now, I believe I get them mixed up because it's either Peter or John, but one of the disciples beats the other disciple but stops at the entrance. The other disciple just runs straight through the door and ends up right in front of the bed area of the tomb. So they see that. They see it's empty, and they don't know what to do. So they all are still meeting in secret, and their doors are locked. They don't want the religious leaders to come after them because they think that the disciples stole the body. But actually, when they got the reports from the guards actually say what happened. There's an earthquake. The tomb just opened up out of nowhere, and Jesus walked out. And the religious leaders decide, we're going to pay you to say that you fell asleep, and the disciples came and stole the body. So the religious leaders agreed that the tomb was empty, and a lot of scholars today believe the same thing. They agree that the tomb was empty and that Jesus actually really died. So the disciples are hiding, really hiding now, definitely. And all of a sudden, Jesus appears to them inside of a locked room, and they think it's a ghost. And he says, "Peace be with you." And he goes around and tells them, "Hey, I told you this was going to happen. I told you I had to die and that I was going to rise from the dead." All this stuff. And he eats in front of them, proving that, it's him. And and he spends around a month with the disciples. And one disciple particularly called Thomas. Now we call him, his nickname is Doubting Thomas. Now because of that, his name is Doubting Thomas. He was one of the disciples that didn't see Jesus right away. Now when the disciples, after they saw him, they told him, hey, we saw Jesus. He was alive. And he says, I don't believe you. You know, even though a lot of people have already seen him, he said, I don't believe you. I have to put my hands in his wounds, his hands, his feet, his side, to believe you and to believe that he's real. So the next time all the disciples get together, Thomas is with them, the doors are locked again, Jesus comes out of nowhere again. And he tells Thomas, okay, touch me. Touch my wounds. And Thomas says, my Lord and my God, it's you. And he says, blessed are you that believe because you see. I mean, you know, you believe because you see. Blessed are the ones that don't see me and yet believe. Now, the interesting thing is Jesus showed himself post-death to over 5,000 people. Now, some of the theories is, well, the women went to the wrong tomb. Again, he was buried in a political / religious leader's tomb. The fact that everyone would know where he was, everyone would know where he was buried. So you can't that theory has to be thrown out the window. The next one has to be, again, Jesus passed out. Well, the problem with that is Jesus could have passed out, been buried like he did, could have been sealed in the tomb with seals and raw in a thing that weighs thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds. Have those wounds he has, gone through all the bloodlust he was, woke up 3 days later, still probably with a lot of those wounds, opened up the tomb himself without the guards even hearing what's going on, and then walked back into Jerusalem. He would have opened up all of his wounds again, and he would have looked like a mess. There's no possibility of him doing that. Another thing would be the disciples stealing the body, which is probably, out of all of them, are the most plausible, of course. But the problem with that is they were scared for their lives. They hid. They locked themselves up into rooms because if they did anything, they were going to get killed. They didn't want to die. They loved Jesus, but not enough to be killed at that point. So you can't really think that the disciples, because they wouldn't have gone after Roman guards. Roman guards were, you mess with us, we kill you because we don't want to die kind of people. So I can't. And the fact that he was seen post-death by over 5,000 people. Now some people think, oh, well, those people hallucinated. Not 5,000. Two people cannot hallucinate the exact same thing. 5,000 people definitely cannot hallucinate the exact same thing. They all can't have the same dream of Jesus, seeing Jesus post-death. The religious leaders at that time admit that Jesus' tomb was empty. Scholars nowadays believe that his tomb is empty. People believe that he was seen after death. Because you can't have 5,000 people. It would be a bigger miracle than him raising from the dead, that the fact that he was seen by over 5,000 people, and they lived to tell the tale. So today is a great day. Today is a day to celebrate his resurrection and the fact that all you have to do is believe in him, and you have a place in heaven with him. And that's all he does. He doesn't ask you, you have to do this, and you're saved. No, he says, believe in me, turn your life from sin, and be one of my followers, and you'll be with me. And if anyone ever needs anything, you can message us whenever. I'd love to help you get there and be there for you guys. And have a happy Easter. and a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.